Hey guys, I thought I'd give you another way to do a wireframe render that I've recently been playing around with that I think is um, probably the easiest of all the other methods that I've already mentioned. This way is actually just using a playblast and just setting up um, your scene with the color settings and the renderer viewport to create everything right in here so you don't have to render anything or worry about putting on tune shaders or anything like that. It's pretty simple. Basically, I'm going to turn on this button right here, which allows the wireframe to be on the shaded mesh. Um, Next, what I'm going to do is just change the color settings to be what I want. What I'm thinking about doing is just probably overlaying the wireframe onto like a rendered um, three-point lit example that I showed you earlier. So for that, I really only want the lines. Everything else can be white, so I can just use something like multiply or overlay or soft light in After Effects. So what I'm going to do is go up to Window, Settings and Preferences, and Color Settings. Alright, and then in General, open the 3D Views, and I'm going to make both the gradient top and gradient bottom pure white. I have to go into this, yeah, actually choose the color white. Alright. Then for inactive, which would be the wireframe that's on the shaded mesh, I'm going to go to the inactive tab. I'm going to go to Objects. This is a polygon surface. So if you had NURB surfaces, you would have to do this to NURB surfaces. But I'm going to make this black. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong one. Here we go. They're polygon surfaces. And make that black. Or you could choose any color you want, really. But when I'm planning on overlaying this, I just want black, and then I can always control the opacity to get it grayer in After Effects if I want. Okay, so I'll save that. Last, I'm just going to put a what's called a surface shader on this to turn the body mesh completely white. So I already have that created here in my hypershade. Now again, you could use like a fawn or any material on this if you still wanted some shading and you weren't planning on overlaying this. But since I'm planning on just using this as an overlay, I'm going to use my surface shader here. So I'll just grab everything, right click on that surface shader and assign material to selection. By the way, if you don't know how to create that, over here in your hypershade, your surface shader is right here, and you just double click on that to get to your attribute editor and just change the out color to whatever you want, and that just gives a flat shade of whatever color you choose to anything you set it to. So alright, so now as you can see, with nothing selected here, I have my black wireframe and a completely white background and a completely white flat shaded character. So I don't see any shading, all I see is the wireframe, which is perfect for what I need. And I can either do this smooth, or this is using the Bugs Bunny character model that I modeled. I'm just going to keep it not smooth mesh preview. Cool, so I have a little turnaround set up here. One more thing, I'll just show you how the turnaround's working. So that's what I would want to render out. One more thing we can do, you'll notice that you kind of get some, not the cleanest lines with the wireframe, with the default settings. So what we can do to make that a little bit cleaner is go to our renderer, and in our viewport, open this up and just make sure, actually mine are checked, so mine are actually smoother than what you're seeing. So by default, you actually see this, and the wireframes just don't look that great, So what we can turn on is the smooth wireframe and the multi-sampling anti-aliasing. that's the main one, so you can see how much that cleans up the line, hopefully, depending on the quality of this video. Now I can obviously up the sample count too if I wanted. I don't know if there's much of a difference between 8 and 16 though. So why not? Let's just do 16. Okay, so I'm going to select that. Oops, I didn't select that. I'm going to come back out here, and you'll see I have a pretty nice and clean wireframe only view of this. So I don't have a camera predefined for this turnaround yet, so I'll just kind of use this perspective just to show you what I would do next. And so I simply just use a playblast to render this out now. So again, that's in Window, playblast. I'm going to go my options here and just use the time slider since I just have 120 frames a turn. I'm going to change the format to QuickTime. For the encoding, I'm going to use, I usually use either none or animation if I plan on using this playblast in After Effects or in some kind of compositing software. So I'll probably just use animation. Up the quality to 100. Scale, I'll go full scale just so it's as large as possible. So you are kind of limited on your screen size doing it this way. But you can also choose from render settings if you really wanted to. I'm just going to keep it from Window. Alright, and I'll save this to just my desktop for now, since I don't have a project set. So I'll call those bugs wireframe. I'll call it playblast. Alright, now I'll blast it out. So you can see this in VLC. My QuickTime was freaking out on me, so I'll just show you in VLC Media Player. But yeah, you can see a nice clean, and I could use render settings to render this as to whatever settings and quality that I want as well. So yeah, simple as that.